Okay.
Good evening, every one of us. This is Talk with Tobi once again, and by the grace of God, you all know that this is a podcast that we interact and find out solutions to the problem of the young minds, leadership, and otherwise. So today we'll be hosting a very important segment or session that we titled "Why Most Youth Feel Lost." A lot of youths are lost in space that because of the environment they find themselves, because of their career, because of the association, the relationship they find themselves. So today we'll be analyzing that topic today to know the reason why most of these youths are lost and possible method to use in dragging them back to the purpose why they are being called. So today I'll be welcoming our speaker for today, and by God's grace, he's one of the leaders. He's one of our leaders in leadership world and a developer in youth aspect. So we are going to be welcoming our leader. He's no other person than Mr. or leader Goodwill Angereh. Cannot be taken, sir. Welcome, sir.
Okay, thanks very much. That's very much to be. We've had a long
Thank you very much,
experience.
sir.
Thank you.
So today we'll be treating a very important question that um, very important question, and today we'll be looking at why most youth are being lost. There are a lot of young people in our society today that they are not ready to discover who they are in terms of a purpose. They're not ready to discover their life path. So this has made a lot of people, a lot of young guys, a lot of young women feel lost, feeling that there is no one there to coach them, there is no one there to direct them. There is no path, there is no successful path to follow. So today we'll be diving into that section to know what is the cause of this, and how can we navigate all this to make sure that our society, because the life of the society today, the life of every country, every aspect of anything depends on the leaders of tomorrow, which is the youth. So if the youth are not there presently, we'll find out that there will be a lot of mismanagement, there will be a lot of misleading, and there will be a lot of mispriorities and mispurpose on the life, or on the path or life of every country, of every society. So today we'll be looking at what makes this guy, this youth, feel lost, and how possibly can we navigate that art. So today I'm going to be asking you some little questions that will put some clarification to it. So my first question is uh okay, let's understand why did you feel like when a topic like this is sent to you, or did you look at it? Like, a question is being asked to you, why most youth feel lost? So, sir, let's hear from you. Why do youth feel lost?
Okay, thanks very much for the opportunity. Youth in every country is the backbone. In fact, in Africa in particular, they are the majority of the population. They are the most active in all the sectors: reproduction, economy, health, and everything. And if it's talking about direction, talking about purpose is very fundamental, because all the well-being of the country and the backbone of that country depends on the well-being of the youth, depend on youth that have purpose. So it's a very fundamental topic, because we're in a world where everybody wants impact, everybody wants to maybe help themselves, help their families, and without the right direction, without the right mentorship, you know, that's why we see a lot of youth today. The crime wave is growing. A lot of the bad things, kidnapping, and everything you can think about is growing. It's on a rise in Africa, and that's why this topic is very, very fundamental. It's very, very important because finding purpose, finding direction, finding a way to be useful is very important. So for me, you know, it's something I want to discuss today because most of us go to school. We just go to school to have a certificate. We just go to school just because maybe it's a way. Maybe we are taught that by going to school we have purpose. So for me, it's very important. And while most youths get lost today, you can see it everywhere. Everybody just wants to survive. Everybody wants to do something. And at the end of the day, if you don't find, if that thing is not what you're called to do, you get lost along the path. It will become difficult. You cannot have that impact that you expected at the onset. And by suddenly you want to become like a friend, you want to start comparing yourself to this person, and that's how you start doing the wrong things, you start following the wrong people, and at the end of the day, you find yourself maybe not getting what you wanted, and you get lost, and you get like, you start blaming everybody around you except yourself. So it is very important that we have a topic like this and let the youth understand, right? Understand where they are and the way forward.
Thank you very much, sir. So, like we say that because of a lot of things happening on the society today, some of us in our country we have bandits, some of us we have some corruption, some of us we have some issues relating to the society, and this has been the reason why most people, most young people are now, let me say, they are not discouraged, they are not feeling lost, they are not finding the right purpose in them. So, sir, basically, let me start with this question. The question goes like this. Many youths today look successful on social media, but struggles with confusion and emptiness internally. What do you think is the root cause of this crisis of direction? Many young people today look successful on social media, but struggle with confusion and emptiness internally. What do you think is the root cause of this crisis of direction, sir?
Well, that's a very, very powerful question. You see, like they say, right, we have two lives: the normal life and then the online life. Most of us today, like you hear the saying of take it till you make it. A lot of us today, right, want to appear. A lot of our community today have misplaced priorities. In the sense that most youth today, what they put at the forefront of value of life is about money. It's about what? Money is about the affluence. It's about looking successful in, not knowing that the fundamentals of a youth, right? The fundamental of somebody is what? Having a purpose, growing in what? Your moral life, your health life, and all of that. And that's why most youth today, they are ready to do what? You see people doing sacrifices, scamming, all sort of things, and other sort of things, because they want to appear. Whereas, when you really think and do this right, money is the last form of wealth, is the last form of riches. But most youth today, they prefer to get rich, maybe to have the money now and maybe lose their health, lose their family, lose many things, because they have misplaced priorities. They are not being taught, maybe by our parents, what is real wealth, what is real value, what is purpose. They are not being taught that. All we have been taught about is make money and get married, have kids, and that's it. So we really need to talk to the society again. That's why I think maybe that thing is very, very important. Yes, Paul.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very, very much. I think you deserve an applause for that. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. So some time ago, the last session we had, we critically discussed visibility and value, and we find out that a lot of young guys, a lot of people who actually want to be visible, they don't actually want to create value. Value, which we all know, is the full root or the full foundation of visibility. So when you have a value, that gives you an input to create visibility. But nowadays, in our dispensation now, in our generation now, we find out that a lot of young people who are on the social media space, who are on the internet, who are on the global stage, are not patronizing visibility more than the value. So today we you have actually made a point towards that young people today to create this awareness of using that social media aspect. Let me use this word to impact their life, healing their life, unlike using it for a different purpose. So the next question goes this later. What are the major signs that show a young person is losing clarity about their purpose and future? There are young people who they kind of their time. There are young people who have these aspirations, who have this vision, who have this purpose alignment to achieve some certain things for the future. But along the line, you see that this path, this purpose, this clarity start fading away. So in that point, how do a young, vibrant professional leader or a young person know these signs? It says, what are the signs that shows a young person is losing clarity about their purpose and future? So let's hear from you, sir.
Okay, good. So today, right? Everybody wants to maybe make a living, like something that gives them money. But today, like I always say, most of us want anything that gives us money, but we forget it. But life is about what? Adding value, about solving a problem. Okay, so most of us, what a youth today is somebody who tries to add value, tries to make what wherever you are a better place. And when you're on the path of value, on the path of purpose, is where wherever you are, you can add value. And add value comes through service, through helping people in your society, right? A responsible, a youth towards purpose. And like I say, purpose is something where you can add value, even if you are not rewarded financially. Okay, like let's say maybe somebody for me personally, it's about I make sure from the environment. I will make sure I can advise. I always find myself advising people without really knowing. At times I may be going through situations, but if I can help somebody become better, I feel much better. So a youth who is towards clarity, towards purpose, it should be when you find yourself and you are able to be used that place, right, to solve a particular problem, no matter what nature of problem it is. Maybe help an elderly mother, maybe help somebody manipulate to address something, or help somebody cross the road. That is a part of clarity, a part of service, right? It's by service and by action that you really discover what you are good at, where you can be best valuable in the world.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Like I am a kind of finding it difficult to hear clearly from your own end, actually. But I will try by all means to see how I can do some justice to that. So the next question is a graduate who has spent years studying but is unemployed. This thing. Currently now we find out that there are a lot of graduates, there are a lot of people who have gone through series of education. Some of them have been gone through masters, some of them have been gone through some 13 qualifications. But you find out that after coming out from that circle, there is not employment. There is no way. You find out that a graduate is now going to some jobs that necessarily does not even require such a person. But because of ends meet, the person is trying to indulge into that. So the question goes like this: a graduate who has spent years studying but is unemployed begins to feel like a failure. A graduate who has spent years studying but unemployed begins to feel like a failure. How can they build or rebuild confidence and find a new direction?
Good. Thank you very much for this. This draws me to, the other day I saw in my country where somebody had a PhD, right? Was selling, the what people company Akara, right? That his sister, yeah, look for a job, he couldn't find a job. He would start selling Akara, and people were bashing him. People were saying a lot of things and so on and so forth. But the issue is this, right? One thing the myth with us, maybe youth, is today is that your certificate is equivalent to your value, which is very wrong. Your certificate is just paper. Depends on the value you can bring, right, to the marketplace, to your community. That is what we should be talking about. If you have a certificate, right, and you cannot use that certificate to solve a problem, then don't be saying I have spent millions. It's not be about what you have spent, it's about what. So let us understand this principle of problem solving. What can we solve? If you have a certificate and you cannot solve a problem with that certificate, okay, you still have a lot to go, right? You may have skills, but how applicable, how employable, right? How problem solving those skills are oriented. So you need to understand that either you start what, like somebody said, like in the Nigerian system where you have some use to that, you start learning trading, then you go to school to what, to improve on that. Okay, we should stop this mentality of that you go completely to school. I have a PhD, you come and start looking for a job. But we need to integrate that as you're going to school, be learning something. Okay, by the side, like either if you're doing nursing or like today, we have people who do maybe like if you're into mechanics, you're working somewhere with car repair, you work there, you go to school. So that what you learn in school, you can apply it on the spot. So this issue is this, right? You should rather go to school. Okay, make sure whatever you acquire, you start applying that thing. If you have maybe after advanced level, or I don't know how you call it, WIEC or whatever, try to apply some of those things in the day-to-day life. As you're going ahead, make sure you are applying them in a day-to-day life. Okay, if you're doing maybe nursing, volunteer maybe in a clinic or somewhere, even as a cleaner. Just be in that environment where your skills, where you're developing expertise. If you're into electronics, maybe someone has phone repairs, get close to them so that what you see how you can apply, what measure of that skill you can apply. Because Africa today, we need youths that work, that are able to identify a problem. Okay, you go to school, you study the solution, and then come and solve the problem. We should not be going to school for the certificate. Okay, so if you go to school, have a certificate, and then you cannot find a job. Okay, if what you depended in your thesis, you cannot solve that problem in real life. Okay, tell yourself that okay, I will start from somewhere, and I will take the time that I need to grow to that level. Because what in school they teach you how to solve problems, they teach you scientific approach to solve things. So use that approach now, or whatever you can do with that. Use that approach, that scientific approach, to solve the problem you find yourself with. From then now, you gain a practical skills. And you that you are illiterate, you can easily grow faster than somebody who didn't go to school. So you have an advantage, but you have an advantage that you have a system where if you apply properly to solve a problem, you easily grow higher. So if you're a graduate and you don't have a job, okay, sit down with yourself and say, okay, right now, what can I do? If you can't do anything, okay, you can say, I will learn something and I will grow that thing slowly but surely. So we need to learn to start something, no matter how small it is, and grow. If you find a job as a cleaner, okay, there's no problem. Start from there. But now, use what the skills you acquired in school to grow that job. So that's what I'll tell any graduate today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Even though I'm not getting most of your words due to some network glitches from your end, we'll try to move on today. So the next question is like this. Like I said earlier, we have discussed series of sessions, series of topics concerning the youth life. And there are a lot of things we have discussed, a lot. And last time we had value versus visibility. And the next question is directing this way. He says, how much has social media comparison contributed to the pressure and frustration many youth experiences today? How much has social media comparison or comparison contributed to the pressure and frustration many youths experience today? Because we discussed something about visibility and value, which I've been mentioning all this while, and we find out that a lot of young people who are into the social media space are actually looking for visibility, not value. Reason being that some of them feel like, what I want to give out is not actually necessary, or people will feel appreciative, or people will not appreciate me, or I will not start making money through it, or I won't do something like a kind of, I won't get a feedback from it. And it has been a serious matter we have been pursuing. So he says, how much has social media comparison contributed to the pressure and frustration many youth experience today? Let's hear from you, sir.
Okay, good, good. Like there's one time here in my country, I used to watch debates where they say banning of social media or maybe shouldn't use phones. Please, if you don't get me, please, you draw my attention, please. I want that maybe my message should go across, please. Okay. So I get him 100%, sir.
Hello, sir.
Are you getting me 100%?
I can hear you, sir.
I said, are you getting me? Are you getting me?
It's a little bit glitchy. It's a little bit glitchy. I can't get full pronunciations.
Okay, let me try again. Okay, so like based on your question, right? How has social media maybe really influenced this kind of comparison, or youth not maybe other wanting the quick rich kind of lifestyle? I was saying this, right, in my country back then.
I said how much has social media comparison, contributed to the pressure and frustration of many youth experiencing today?
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, so this is it, right? Today social media in itself, social media in but it's not a problem. But it is the use of technology, it is how we use technology that is a problem. And social media today, we have given the wrong connotation, right? Social media was supposed to be a place where we test skills, we learn things, we connect. But today people have used it as a way of maybe showcasing or of trying to extract from others, showing fake lifestyles. So social media today has contributed in a negative way because we have decided to use it for the wrong purposes. Like if you use today, right, decide that they want to add value, use your social media platforms to add value, right? Definitely it will contribute to help you to become a better person, building world. But today we see it as an opportunity, and that's why even if there wasn't social media, right, it would have still been the same, because some people borrow dresses and see wear and promote fake lifestyle. Some people wear other things and promote. So in some way, but social media have amplified it. And that is why you see fake influencers left and right, people having, sex tapes left and right, and you see maybe one sex tape will make it to go viral and then you earn a lot of money. And that is what a lot of people are pushing. So social media, right, the poor use of social media has what propagated, has propelled what this fake lifestyle, youth, this quick use kind of something about youth. Everybody now wants to be on social media for the wrong reasons. And it's something that we need to speak about. You just need to learn how to use social media to create value, to solve a problem, to maybe content that empowers, like what we are doing. Like we see on my platforms, I speak about something, maybe leadership, about purpose, about something, rather than go sharing something that doesn't empower. So social media has been poorly used by most youth today, right? But if we can change the paradigm that social media is supposed to be a tool used to communicate value, then we'll start changing from it becoming something that's caused more harm than good, but something that we can use it to grow, to empower ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So, we should, in every aspect, try to navigate the social media from being a kind of a contributor to us in terms of pressure and frustration, and turn into something very useful to us that we won't feel frustrated or will not feel being pressured. So the next question goes like this: many young people want success but struggle with discipline. I think that this one is something that we need to seriously deal with. Discipline is a kind of a very strong thing. It's very tangible, but it's very strong for you to handle. Which we have seen that many young people have that let me just say that circle, that hook to struggle with that. Discipline is everything that we need. So the question goes is, many young people want success but struggle with discipline, and we should all know that discipline is the first and most wanted thing in the life of every successful human being on earth. Discipline, many young people struggle with discipline, struggle with patience, struggle with consistency. What is creating this mindset is a question. We have people who are struggling with discipline, we have people who are struggling with patience, we have people who are struggling with consistency. So, sir, what is creating this mindset? Let's hear from you, sir.
Okay, good. You know, like that's how you say everything starts with, and this thing, like discipline, person is very fundamental. We can talk about all forms of motivation, but if you have to achieve anything worldwide or sustainable in life, you must be disciplined and consistent about it. And this discipline is like, it's supposed to be a culture, right? Like they say, all success, right, takes time. Everything that will last for a long time takes time, and that's why. But most of us youths, right, I can say it stems from, maybe, let's say, should we say, our household or our society in general, because all what, and that's why social media has amplified, like what you said, because the poor understanding of what social media is meant for has amplified what this get quick scheme, or maybe youth because start comparing yourself and wanting to become like others, whereas maybe you see someone stage 10 and then you are seeing your stage 1, you want to be like the person. You see someone Dangote is there and you want to be like make big donate like Dangote overnight and others. So this is very fundamental, and we need to start teaching discipline very young at home. Tell your kids, tell our younger ones, tell ourselves that whatever I want to achieve, right, it will take time, right? At the days that you work on something, like they will say, like a plant, when you plant like a bamboo tree, they'll say, like in this example, like bamboo tree, when you plant a bamboo tree, right, it can spend like maybe years growing just little, right? But in after a particular period of time, okay, the effect of compounding, right, you can take maybe less than a year to grow extremely tall, right? When you plant something, it takes time to go into the ground before it comes out. So we need to cultivate that. We need to learn to start doing things and be consistent about them. Everything that has value takes time. So as young people, we need to always struggle. We need to always understand that everything takes time. Value creation takes time. Okay, if you want to be like in school, academic success, you go to school every day. Okay, to have a certificate at the end of the year, right? Every day. Okay, we move from one class to the other. That is how life is. Life, to move from one level to the other, to move from any 100,000 to 200,000. You need to. It takes time. Okay, and it takes a process. It takes consistency, showing up every day. So everything in life, right, takes time. And if you want to look at people's life that have succeeded, don't look at the result. Look at what they have to do before they got where they are. Because all of us want to be like Dangote. But if you know how many failures he has had, how many things he has had to do daily. Okay, so you need to understand. Patience is a skill. Discipline and consistency is a skill. We need to learn to be responsible, to show up, to do the things, to take the courses, to take the sacrifices, okay, to do whatever we have to do to build that value. Okay, so every youth needs discipline, needs patience. Find your purpose, work on it every day of your life. Learn something, no matter how small it is, and slowly but surely, and with the compounding effect, after a couple of years, right, you will grow. Like, let me just say this, like Warren Buffett, one of the biggest investors, said this, right? Most of us underestimate what we can do in 10 years, right? But we overestimate what we can do in 1 year. You just start doing something, you want to get results over 9 months and so. But but to give results will take the time. So let us always give time to everything we are doing. That's my take on this, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. So the next question goes this way, sir. How can a youth discover their purpose when they are under pressure? You know, there are a lot of young people who because of the pressure, because of the surrounding they find themselves, they can't figure out their purpose. The mindset is not settled down to direct them towards their purpose. So the pressures are family, expectations, society, financial challenge. All these things are a kind of a circle of trap holding every young individual. So in the midst of this, how do we discover our true purpose? Let's hear from you, sir.
Good, good. Thanks very much. Purpose, everybody was born with a purpose, and your purpose is within you, right? But now, like they say, there are different ways, right? That there are different drives to purpose. Okay? Like most of the time, there are certain things that you do on a normal that you think that it's everybody can do it, or it's normal for everyone can find it. But yeah, how do you find your purpose? Okay, or how do you invest in your purpose when maybe you have pressure, financial pressure, and other things? The issue where you are is that purpose is, first of all, how can you identify your purpose? First of all, ask people around you the things you do on a daily, right? That that away from the ordinary. There are things that you do that others may find extraordinary that you think is ordinary. First of all, and your purpose at times you can go back to your childhood. What were the things that you said you wanted to become, to do, and that's it drives to purpose? And equally, what are the passions? What are the things you have, right? What are the skills? What are some things that innate? Like example, I have a younger brother, he's good with electronics and things like that. But now, if you are a young person, maybe you are in your 30s, you really have a kid, you really have maybe a lady in the house, and then but you want to discover your purpose. Okay, first of all, don't quit what you're doing, right? And meditate, or maybe first of all, what you have meditate. Okay, you communicate with your father to reveal yourself. When you're around people, always be vigilant to some of the key things that gets you annoyed. Okay, that the key things when you're in an environment that what get in fact that, or when you find yourself somewhere, you cannot stay away from those kind of things that has value. Those are drives towards your purpose. But now, how do you go when you're in something that's not your purpose, but it can pay your bills? First thing is for survival, right? If you can be surviving, okay, do something that can pay the bills first. But now, be conscious of your purpose and slowly be shifting towards your purpose, okay? Because at the end, the aim of life is what you need to be able to feed for yourself. So first of all, do something that gives you money. But now, focus on what? Make sure you are focusing on discovering your purpose and building in that direction. So that what? Give yourself time. If you discover, okay, my purpose maybe I love music, but right now what is putting food on my table is maybe bricklaying. Okay, you're doing your bricklaying, but you're improving in your music, you're learning about the music business, how to maybe take your purpose, how to commercialize your purpose, how to grow in that purpose, understanding how can my music add value to the community. While you're doing your bricklaying, you're learning on the side. Okay, you're learning and you're developing your purpose. So any youth today who maybe are in a situation where you want to discover your purpose, and you are maybe in a domain where it's not where your purpose is, you're 9 to 5, you're frustrated, you get up in the morning, you don't want to go to work. Right now, it puts food on the table. But now, from that money, save part of it to develop your purpose, save part of the purpose. I give yourself a time, okay, to develop purpose to a level where it can put food on your table, where you can commercialize that purpose, you can add value, you can exchange it for something that can take care of you. By slowly doing, you move from your 9 to 5 and you build on your purpose. Because when you're doing your purpose, you're on your purpose, while you're not working, you will never feel frustrated. Okay, you will work and you will solve problems and you will see how your purpose will put food on your table, and you will build a legacy from that. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So our next question goes this way. I believe you have done justice to that. Let's give you an applause. You did well, sir. Thank you very, very much. So our next question goes this way. It says, it has 3 branches.
Okay.
And we would love you to do justice to this, sir. The question goes this way. It says, what is different between pursuing money,
yes,
chasing trend, and building a meaningful life? What is different between money chasing? Let me put it this way: money chasing,
yes,
trend chasing, and building a meaningful life. Let's hear from you, sir.
Okay, good. So, all of these things are, like money, friends, right, and meaningful life. At some point in life, right, most of all, money, right, like one time, money puts food on your table, right? Money is what put food on your table. So everybody, one way or the other, right, maybe because we indirectly chase money. But now our focus should not be what the money, but it should be the value. So the money should be a compensation for the value we bring. But now we see that today, right? Most people follow trends too because trends just what maybe visibility, and the visibility you can exchange it for money. Get, but now you need to understand, right? Because most people today follow trend maybe for the wrong reason. Some people today, if a trend does not tie with your purpose, with something, how you can add value to your community, you shouldn't follow a trend. Okay, being a meaningful life first of all starts with values, right? You need to have values, and a meaningful life has values. And if your life has values, has a part where you respect those values and principles, right? Whatever thing you go after, okay, whatever money you pay should be something that adds value. You need to exchange your value for money, and you will not just follow any trend. You will not be somebody who follows a trend, because trends are for those who just want visibility. But a meaningful life is not about trends, right? It's about what value adding. Okay, and those who follow money and trends, okay, that their first focus is about money and trends. Well, those who want only visibility are those who haven't really just understood the real value of life. Life is not about trends, okay. Life is about what meaningful life is about purpose, it's about value, it's about legacy, and legacy is about what helping the world become a better place, building a foundation beyond you. So what you today, you may start by following money, okay, you may start by following trends to survive, to exist, but that should not be your aim. As you grow older, you need to understand that what makes a person is not about the trend, it's not about the money, but it's about what the value you bring, the legacy, the purpose, the meaningful life, okay, the principles you set in your life. So as young people, right, you need to be aware, right, that money, okay, may solve your day-to-day problems, but money should not be your objective. Money should not be, I want to be rich like Dangote. No, be what be your focus should be focusing to become a meaningful person. Because those who follow trends will die the next second. Okay, but those who focus on meaningful life, adding value, helping the world become a better place, like all the people we see today, they will last for centuries. Okay, and the money will come to them. So what we have to focus on is what building a meaningful life. A meaningful life, what will bring the money, right? A meaningful life is about making the world a better place, and doing that brings you the money without you directly focusing on the money, right? And trends are things that come and die, but a meaningful life is that. So I would advise you, please, right? If you're a young person, if you're a target, you're following but focusing on money and trends, you need to start doing away with that and thinking of a meaningful life. What value, what principles do you have? Don't lose your value, your personality for trends. Don't go and maybe focus on one trend because you want to go viral, and then you lose who your real identity is. So focus on being a meaningful life. If you focus on being a meaningful life, the money will come and the trends will pass and die, but you will remain lasting for generations to come.
Thank you very much. So, I think what we had here is the most important thing here is living a meaningful life. Chasing money or chasing trade will eventually fade away later on, and the meaningful life you are building is a legacy that you want even after your life. You want it to continue to trend. You want it to continue inspiring people. You want to still create more value. So the difference between a meaningful life, chasing money, and chasing trend is value. So creating value is through living a meaningful life. So you living a meaningful life, you are actually at the same time chasing your money and also positioning yourself on the train aspect. So our next one, sir, you actually you have been doing justice to our questions, but the next one goes like this. Um, there are some certain young people who uh they lack some direction. Let me use that way. Because the question goes this way. But I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to digress a little so that you can be able to understand the area I'm going to. There are young people who actually are lacking direction, lacking pathway to follow. Now, does the cause of this comes through lack of opportunity, or lack of preparation and skills needed to maximize opportunities. I don't know if you are getting me. Are young people truly lacking opportunities, or they are actually lacking preparation and skills needed for that opportunity to be maximized? I don't know if you get me, sir. Let's hear from you, sir.
Okay. So he said, are young people lacking opportunities, or do they lack the skills to be able to maybe maximize opportunities?
To maximize opportunity, yes.
So, like one thing, right? You're right, because like I say, opportunities are always there, but there are people who are not prepared. Okay, because if you are prepared enough, you definitely meet opportunity. Okay, so a lot of young people today, right? If you look at, because what's an opportunity? An opportunity most of the time comes in the face of a problem, in the face of a challenge. And there are some people that really do create value at some level, what rise due to what challenge. Some leaders rise like Nelson Mandela, they rise because of the challenge, because of the apartheid and whatsoever that it was an assault after that time. Some people like maybe maybe they got into one importation because of there was a lack of the opportunity came because of they were prepared. So a lot of you should the preparedness is not only preparedness comes with the mindset, the skill set, maybe the environment. Okay, like we talk environment, environment. What are where do you belong to have access to information? What are the things that you discuss on a day to day? Okay, that one literally how you prepare you are. What are the skills you have to seize opportunities? Okay, because we talk about opportunities. Okay, so opportunities today. What are young people doing? Young people today stay up to 5 a.m. till I watching what they World Cup, and they forget about the opportunities, maybe job opportunities and other. And that one people discuss about maybe who has left their marriage, who has done this, who has done that, and then they say there are no opportunities. What are they discussing? What are they building? Opportunities come right when you are already building something, when you are on something, and then what? And then reach a particular level, you definitely need help. Okay, so young people are not prepared. They are not prepared psychologically. They are not prepared, maybe skill wise. Okay, to seek opportunity. Which are the rooms? Which are the groups you belong to? What are the things they share there? Okay, you don't belong to any group. You belong to maybe one betting group where that's what they say, and then you talk about an opportunity. No, opportunity cannot come and meet you. The opportunity, you need to go to where opportunities are. You need to have the mindset to be able to recognize an opportunity first. Then you empower yourself with the skill set needed to be able to maximize that opportunity. So young people today in Africa, okay, so we need a mindset shift to shift from opportunity, not maybe you being employed in the government. Okay, opportunity you being able to work to solve a problem, to create value. That is where we miss it all. Okay, but if we focus on betting and thinking that I will get my certificate and go and look for a job, and that's an opportunity. There's opportunity. Almost everything for the others, even they take pizza from their money here, and we compare about opportunities. So opportunities are everywhere, especially in Africa. Like Jack Ma once said, right, where people complain, there are opportunities. So there are opportunities in Africa. It's just that the youth will need to change the mindset. We need to be able to identify opportunities and develop the skill set needed to make the best out of these opportunities. So that's what I think. Usually we need to work on our skill set and our mindset to be able to make the best out of the opportunities that we have. We have a lot of them in Africa. That is why Africa is a gold mine. Everybody is running to Africa. So we need to know that Africa has the opportunity, and we need now to learn how to make the best of these opportunities.
Thank you very much. I think from your own perspective, you will say a lot of people lack preparation and skills. Then the opportunity is there, but what we actually need is an adequate skills and opportunity for us to suit in. And adequate skills and preparation either for us to suit in for the opportunity when it comes. So there are a lot of opportunities in and outside the country, in Africa, in Europe, in Asia, wherever you want to. There are opportunities. It's just that what we are looking at, what we are facing now is just that a lot of young people actually let me put it this way, they don't drive to be steadfast on something or on a task. That is why a lot of us are misled misled, and after on we feel lost alongside. So actually we'll soon be rounding up, but before we round up, we are going to take two more questions, and it says this way: what are some practical steps a confused young person can take today to regain focus and build a better future? So what are these practical steps a confused young person can take today to regain focus and build a better future? Let's hear from you, sir. So we are actually waiting for our speaker. I think he has a network issue, so we're actually waiting for him for quite a little time. Please bear with us because of the issues we are having with our network. We'll try to put that into consideration and look for a way to amend it and make it good. We are still waiting for our speaker. God. Let me see.